Yo, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to Dre and Jay. As you can see, no Javante with me for this video. I do have my boy Alec coming in clutch to do this review for Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The movie's been out for a week now, so, we're pretty much going to get into spoilers when we talk about it. Alec saw it opening weekend, loved it. I remember he was telling us in the group chat, one of the best Marvel films.
This is it.
I was like, damn, okay, all right. I was sick. As you guys remember, I had the flu, so I wasn't able to see it till this past Sunday. And, I watched it, and I was like, damn, Alec wasn't lying. That shit holds up, bro.
And then again, I told you guys after Kenobi dropped, I said, this is it, guys. This is the thing to come out.
And see, and that's when you say shit like that, and then I watch Kenobi, and then that's why I'm always taking your shit with a grain of salt. Like I can't believe you fully.
But we had James Gunn doing this. We didn't have non-Star Wars fans doing a Star Wars project.
Yeah.
It was James Gunn who cares very much about
these characters and just comics in general. Man.
Well, hello, Bailey.
And Bailey is also in this video, hiding.
I bet she feels a certain way about the High Evolutionary.
Oh yeah, she
That's why she has to get her voice in this time.
Mm-hmm. See, she's right here. I know you would bite the High Evolutionary's ass, wouldn't you?
Well, the face.
Or the face.
The skin, literally.
You would fuck him up, wouldn't you, Bailey?
She would have liked Counter Earth. Hello, Bailey.
Okay, Bailey.
Oh.
Calm down now, okay? Alright, I'm gonna push the chair and I don't want to roll over your foot. Calm down. Okay. Stay there. Okay, so had to get that out of the way, Bailey. Yeah, this is honestly, I mean, just to give you guys a grade right now, that shit's a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved it. I said it, right after watching the movie, I was like, "Oh, this is a top 10 MCU film," and then you said it was top 5, and I was like, I had to start thinking about it some more, and I'm over here like, is that recency bias kicking in, or is it really top 5? And I started thinking about it. As far as some of the MCU films, action, it holds up to the top 5 in MCU. Story, it holds up to top 5. Emotional aspect holds up in top 5 of MCU projects.
Character development
holds up in the top 5 when it comes to MCU projects. So I mean, music, top 5. I mean, fucking action sequences, stunts, costumes, like everything. Just it was a really amazing fucking film.
Right, and I mean, Guardians on paper, not even on paper, they have the best trilogy in the MCU. It's right there with Captain America. I think Guardians 1, I think to a lot of people, is a top 10 movie. And then Guardians 2, I feel like was kind of underrated because it kind of got wedged in the middle. But it's a fun movie. And that's the thing about the Guardians movies that I love is that it's not like a high stakes, like, here are these heroes fighting, and if they lose, the universe is done for. It's like it's for them. It's always been a personal mission. Guardians 2, Quill's dad. It's for Quill's dad.
Yeah.
It's for Quill. Guardians 3 is all about Rocket, and then I guess the first one's kind of more about Ronan and the stone, but still, all of them were fun. It was all personal, and you could see that in this third one.
Oh,
all these guys had their moments. And everyone, in the end, plot spoiler, no one dies of importance.
Yeah.
Within the Guardians crew. So,
and it surprised me because every time in the movie there were certain points where you thought a character was gonna bite the dust. I thought Rocket, I thought he was gonna bite the dust. Quill, at one point, I thought he was gonna bite the dust. Drax, when he got shot, I was like, oh damn, is Drax about to die? So, and the fact that nobody didn't die in this movie, I was like, damn, okay. Like that, honestly, it's crazy because it's like, it shows that you can have stakes in a movie without necessarily killing off characters.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what James Gunn from the very beginning has made it known that he cares very much about these characters and their story. Because he made the Guardians before they were obsolete. Before no one knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy like that, and he made them into what they are now, which is a key part of Marvel, and really opened up everything as far as the space and the cosmos and all that is concerned in the MCU. Mm-hmm. And he gave all these characters their own beautiful shining moment, from Mantis to Cosmo, to drawing blank. His brother. Kraglin with the arrow.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, he was being crapped on for not being able to get to use Yondu's arrow, and then in the end, he sees Yondu, and then he's like, "I got this." But
besides, I did like that moment, especially with Yondu and being in that scene, and just the whole Kraglin and Cosmo thing was a cool little. I wouldn't say it's a side story because there wasn't enough for it to be a side story, but just a cool little moment.
Yeah. And like I said, everyone gets their own moment in this movie.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, and I think even how they handled Gamora, because obviously I think James Gunn had said he didn't know that was the plan for Gamora when Infinity War came out, where she would die, and then Endgame, past Gamora from 2014, right, comes back into present day, and I thought he handled Gamora perfectly in the sense of she wasn't the same Gamora, but we saw there was still good in her, and she stuck it out with the Guardians, pretty much throughout the end.
Yeah. I agree with that too. Like I like Gamora a lot in this movie, and I like the fact that they didn't really backtrack with her and like try to force her to be the old Gamora. Like she's a new person. This is a different Gamora. So I kind of like that. I didn't want her to fall in love with Quill again, at least not for this movie for sure. So I like that. It just showed that, hey, this is a new version of this character, and aggressive. I mean, that scene where they're on the Old Corp, and and she shoots James Gunn's wife in the leg, and then she threatens, "Oh, girl!" Like I was like, okay, like that's badass fucking Gamora right there.
And I think people need to stop with the Adam Warlock criticism, man. Like, I thought for what he did,
it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
So this is how I view it, right? So remember in Age of Ultron when Vision was born, if you will, and at the end, Ultron was like, "Oh, you're so naive," and Vision goes, "Well, I was born yesterday." Like, Adam Warlock was literally like forced out early at the end of Guardians 2 to stop the Guardians. So he's a dumb newborn. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I think they showed that perfectly.
I agree. Because when he came on the scene, like...
He meant business.
Yeah, he meant business. Intro was kind of dope. Nice little music when he was flying to nowhere. And then when he came on the scene, went up against Groot. Groot ended up headless. Beating down Drax. Fucking up Nebula. Like...
He shot Rocket.
Like, he meant business. So I was here for that. And for Adam Warlock in this movie, I understand, like, he's not... Because when we think of Adam Warlock, we're thinking about the guy who goes toe-to-toe with Thanos and shit. And, like, everybody wanted him to be in that position where Brie Larson's Captain Marvel was against Thanos in Endgame. He wasn't available at the moment. He was still being created. But I liked him for this movie, just the whole young, naive... Doesn't really know anything. He's like a fish out of water, just born yesterday, like you said.
Every time he came back on screen, he failed.
Yeah.
He got bodied every single time.
Every time. Now, my thing is moving forward, though, is like you can't keep going with this character the way he is. Like you can't, because I know how Marvel gets. Especially they'll see, oh, you know what? Audiences liked him being funny. They liked him being naive, and let's keep that going with the next movie. And exactly, like let's keep that going with the next movie. No, like show development, show him start to be that badass person that eventually he could lead the new Guardians team.
Yeah.
So, like that's how you gotta do Adam Warlock. You can't just keep him the same way that he was in this movie just because of like I liked him again. I liked him in this movie. I thought he was funny in this movie, but again, that's because of the fact that he was born yesterday.
Another thing that stood out to me, Chris Pratt, man, he absolutely killed it, and I think he was starting to get that reputation of kind of being a one-off, the same kind of dude. From the Jurassic Park franchise to Marvel, he kind of became the same generic action role hero. And I thought he killed this performance, man. Everything from his emotion to really seeing Star-Lord struggle with the fact that Gamora was gone. He had to deal with that, and then he got dusted. And then by the time he comes back in Endgame, she's back.
Yeah.
But it's not the same Gamora he knew. And you saw the man struggle in the very beginning, and then ultimately at the end realizing that he needed to accept what had happened in his life. Everything from his mom dying to being abducted from Earth from his grandfather. It was just a cool, complete circle to see Star-Lord go through it.
Yeah, and especially like I felt like his best performance in the movie was when Rocket was about to die.
Yep.
Like I was like, damn, like that's probably the best I've seen from Chris Pratt. Mm-hmm. He was amazing, and you know, like everybody gives Chris Pratt a hard time. I honestly don't really understand the hate when it comes to Chris Pratt.
Neither do I. Like he's a good dude. I mean, sure he has beliefs and values, but we as people, everyone has their own. Mm-hmm. And Chris Pratt's not a guy who is out there forcing it down people's throats.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
I mean, shit. Wait, I don't even know what the fuck his values are. What is
he's a Christian.
He's just Christian, Republican. I mean, is that? I don't know. That's not a reason why I would hate the man.
Nah,
you know?
Yeah, he's a good dude, and everyone from what we've heard and seen, they love Chris Pratt.
Yeah. He's great, bro. Honestly, I see him, especially being in the new DC universe. I have Booster Gold. Hey, that's a potential one right there. If he wants to get
for sure
his hands on, I can see it. But yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, like just the chemistry between the cast, the team, because like
works.
it works for everybody. Like everybody has their moments. Everybody when they interact, like you have Mantis and Quill, Mantis and Drax, Quill and Drax, Nebula and Mantis, Nebula and Rocket. Like mix and match each and every one of them, and you're getting a good like scene every time.
And Nebula, man, she took a whole 180 from the first Guardians to where she ended up
best
now.
Character development.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of funny when you think about it. In between, obviously, Infinity War and Endgame, there's that 5-year gap where it was just Rocket and Nebula. And it's like, you could see like when she starts crying when she hears Rocket's voice when he's back, because it's like, they went through that by themselves. They grieved when everybody was gone.
And her kind of knowing how Rocket works, because like when Quill tried to put the med pack on him, she knew immediately like that's not going to work. So
and it's just everyone got their moment to shine. It was beautiful, and you saw the chemistry. It's just this is the cast where the serious, and this is Marvel. Okay, now let me rephrase that. James Gunn got this right in the sense, and what we should have gotten in Thor: Love and Thunder, where the comedy and the serious tones of this movie, they don't overtake each other.
Not at all.
Like it rolls off so well, to where you could sit there and like for that second half of the movie, you didn't know if you should be crying or laughing.
Yeah,
there were tears coming down your face, but you didn't know.
You didn't know what it was for.
You didn't know if there were tears from laughing or tears from crying. You just knew that you were having a good time.
It works well, bro. Like I don't know how James Gunn was able to do it, but it was perfect. And like Rocket, his bad story. Bruh.
Rocket might have just had the best arc among all the Marvel characters. Like on a real note, his journey from where he was to now as leader of the Guardians.
Yeah,
Rocket might have the best arc among every. It's a CGI raccoon who has the best journey.
Between him, Tony Stark for sure is another, but yeah, Rocket's up there. Like when when he was first experimented on, and like they threw him in the cage, you saw just how like his lowest point where like motherfucker like scalp is showing, like shaved down, stitched up, and he talks for the first time.
Tears immediately. I had tears.
Bruh,
my eyes started getting wide. I said, no.
Same.
I said, this is not how it's going to go, James Gunn.
Same. When he said hurts, I was like, oh my God. I was like, why are you doing this to me?
Just who would have thought probably the most emotional part of this movie featured a CGI'd raccoon, otter, walrus, and a rabbit.
Yeah.
Seriously, and it works. Like,
now I'm not going to lie, bro. If I saw Floor in real life, I'd probably stomp on that motherfucker, like, first instance. It would creep me out, bro. I'm over here thinking, like, that shit was like some Toy Story shit.
I was about to say about you, the baby.
With the baby
from Toy Story.
Spider, bro, I'm telling you. Fuck no. But, like, I would have eventually, like, if I knew what happened to her and everything, I would have been like, oh, like just like the movie. Like, oh, she's cute. But first instance, like, no, bro, that's creepy as fuck.
And I couldn't help but cry at the end when Rocket found the animals. and he finds the raccoons.
Oh my
and
God.
they start reaching out to grab him. I was like, damn.
They start like
Climbing all over
climbing
him.
over,
Yeah.
which is like how raccoons do in real life
I
when
was
they
like,
carry their young.
damn.
Yeah.
I said, this is not gonna end well for me. And then
that shows that's like the character arc that you're talking about is because like when he finally realizes I'm a raccoon.
And again, it's like so like when it showed the raccoon classification and everything, and then you're reading it and you see common and you're like, he's gonna realize he's a raccoon. And then when the High Evolutionary comes and he's degrading him and he goes, I'm Rocket Raccoon. I was like, James Gunn knew what he was doing.
There you go.
And it's funny, I forget it's Bradley Cooper. Because this is the first time I remember seeing him at a premiere for the Guardians movies.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Because it's mostly Sean Gunn that does a lot of the motion capture.
yeah, but I was just like, it's Bradley Cooper. I'd be forgetting that sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean,
And he kills it.
I mean, crazy perform. Like when he broke down after Lila died, I was like, damn. Like for voice acting like that, like I felt that shit.
He's up. He perfected the role of a raccoon perfectly.
Exactly, and I liked also during that scene when Lila gets shot. I kind of like how every one of them had like a different reaction to it, like the different emotion. Like you saw, Teeth. This motherfucker just staring like he's just in complete utter shock and disbelief. You got Floor freaking the fuck out, Rocket, Floor,
Rocket, Teeth go now.
No, now, Rocket, Floor, Teeth go now.
I could not help. I was like, man.
And Rocket just fucking screaming. And this is where I'm really gonna talk about the villain. High Evolutionary. Again, like when I was mentioning like top 5 MCU that Guardians of the Galaxy had, top 5 villain potentially in the MCU. With Chudwudi Iwuji as the High Evolutionary.
He was in Peacemaker with James Gunn, obviously.
Yeah.
I believe, didn't he voice the Scar in the live action Lion King? Or am I
No, that's a different act. That's a guy from Doctor Strange that played.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. What was he was in?
He was in Peacemaker for sure. I don't know what other projects.
Was it Jungle Book? Am I thinking of Jungle Book?
Nope, he wasn't in that either.
Okay, maybe I'm just tripped. Maybe I'm just missing entirely. Okay, I'm whiffing entirely right
just
now.
Peacemaker.
Just Peacemaker. You know Peacemaker,
yeah. But he was good in Peacemaker. I liked him as Mern. One of my favorite scenes actually is from Peacemaker when he's he's arguing with Economos about like framing Peace Walker's father. And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you when I'm taking a shit, John. I liked him in that. So like when he was cast as High Evolutionary, I was like, okay, I kind of see potential in him. And
people need to like get off James Gunn for hiring his friends and
bro,
people do it all the time.
People have been hating ever since this man has taken over the DC. They've been calling out every single thing that he fucking does. Oh, this man does comedy. I don't know how he's gonna do Superman. But when it comes to serious moments,
it works.
It works.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do comedy with Superman. I just think that's more of a Guardians thing because Guardians are kind of comedic. That's just how they are. It's teamwork, banter. Like, you get that. Suicide Squad, same way. As far as hiring his friends, he had his wife in this movie. He had his Nathan Fillion, who he's worked with before, his brother, Sean Gunn. Michael Rosenbaum's one of his close friends. He was one of the Ravagers.
And he's very close with Roker.
Yeah,
with Yondu. So I mean, if they can act, that's their job.
That's my point exactly. Like, if he was hiring these dudes and like you could clearly tell, oh, bro, these motherfuckers can't act for shit. but we know why they're getting hired. Then it's a problem. But like they actually bring like good performances, so I don't see why the fuck what's the complaint about it?
Like they like when they're in the whatchamacallit, what do you call it? The big fleshy, the organization.
Yeah.
And Nathan Fillion was the security guard. He was funny, like he's like, oh, I got one of those guys too. Mm-hmm. You, I'm proud of you. You're doing great. It's just like. It works. Yep. Like if they're not crucial to the story, then who cares? Mm-hmm. They're just there along the way.
And then you had Daniela Melchior, who played Ratcatcher in Suicide Squad. She was one of the I don't know what to call her, but like she was in charge of like the records and
She
shit.
was the girl
that Peter Quill
Yeah.
was trying to woo, and like she was funny in that. Like, you know, when she was like, I kind of think he's what did she say, call him, like arrogant or something?
an arrogant douchebag.
Yeah, arrogant douchebag. His wife Jennifer Holland, like she played the security guard that was like overseeing the cameras and shit. And you know, when she got shot and started screaming, like that shit was funny, bro.
Yeah, they got, like, the role isn't major or anything, then who cares? I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
people do it all the time. I mean, every Will Ferrell movie has the same group of people. Think about Spielberg and the people he's had.
Yep.
It's the same group of people.
I'm saying, bro, like if I knew someone,
Scored. How many Martin Scorsese movies have De Niro, Pacino,
that's
even DiCaprio later on?
Yep.
Yeah, like how many people do it all the time in Hollywood?
exactly.
That's not a big deal.
Like if I know someone, bro, and like you in the industry and you big, and I at least have some acting experience, and I'm actually pretty good, like I expect you to put me in some damn small roles too. Shit.
Right, build you up.
Exactly, man.
But the villain, the highlight,
Oh,
it's a villain you actually wanted to hate.
I loved him just because of what it got back to when it comes to villains, bro. Like just sinister, fucking like
Pure hatred.
pure hatred. There's nothing to like about this guy. You just hate him. He's not redeemable. He's not. Oh well, you know what?
Don't be a dick.
He had a tough. Yeah, don't be a dick. God, that shit was. Look, man. He didn't have any like. You know what? From his point of view, like I kind of see what he's trying to do. I mean, he like of course he's trying to build a perfect society, but at the same time, like he's kind of sadistic in the way that he
blows
wants
up.
to do it.
Yep.
You know, he blows up. He kills, incinerates animals, dissects them. You know, like treats them like shit. But yeah, he's not someone that like comes from a horrific backstory. Like, oh man, when I was a kid, I was attacked by a whole group of animals, so now I hate animals and treat them like shit. Like it's not it's not something like that, you know?
Right.
Like they didn't show us that, which I'm glad they don't show us shit like that. Like, no, don't give me any reason to feel bad for this guy.
And Star-Lord says that directly when he confronts him. Like, as he's giving his speech, he's like, I don't need to hear this for some. My mom didn't love you enough. And he's like, I'm not like that at all. I want perfection.
Yeah.
And God isn't here, so I stepped in.
Bro, bars!
Bro!
Bars! That's... Bars! That's top MCU villain quotes
Pure
right there.
villainy. It's like you said, it's just pure, like, there's nothing about this guy you liked. Like, when he died, you were happy.
Yes. And also, like, when they showed his face, I was glad they did that. I was like, that's a huge step.
I don't know
for
how
Marvel.
Marvel did that.
James
Gunn.
Gunn.
I don't know how Marvel said. Oh,
You know, and that's another thing is when James Gunn was brought back to this, like he made sure like I have full control on this shit. Like,
Right.
Like whatever I put in this movie, like y'all can't fuck with. Like he had the first F-bomb, which Kevin Feige allowed it. I'm guessing, like I think Kevin said like if he was gonna let anybody do it, why not be James Gunn? Which of course, why not?
I mean, even when the way Quill killed the one scientist.
Oh yeah, when he was
When he smashed him into the ground and drug his body into the water and then cut out his computer. Mm-hmm. That was dark.
Yeah,
We hadn't seen that in Marvel before.
I agree.
That kind of.
I mean, Thanos pulling the damn Mind Stone out of Vision.
Well, yeah, but he used a knife. Like
Yeah.
Marvel, and they swore Moon Knight was like that, but I don't remember Moon Knight being like that.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I like them showing his face at the end. I was like, because for everything that he did to Rocket, I wanted to see what Rocket did to him. It would have felt because I know for sure most Marvel movies, if it wasn't James Gunn or if it was anyone else, they would have just said they would have had the Guardians' reaction to seeing his face. They would never showed his face though. So I was glad they did that. I was like, okay, all right, finally, y'all starting to age up y'all shit for the audience.
James Gunn.
You good, bro?
Yeah,
You want me to get you another water?
No, I'm good. Just a little emotional, man.
Yeah.
Talk about no, but I think one, allergies suck here in Texas. That's it's a very real thing. But
I can attest to that. Yes.
no, I think at the end, if you're a DC fan, and we talked about it yesterday. Hey, give it about 10 years or so. DC might be on that level.
Oh, DC, yeah, DC.
DC might be past that level.
DC is gonna be just fine with James Gunn.
DC's gonna be in some real good hands, I think.
The way this man did a whole story from the first movie to the third movie, as far as establishing character arcs, action, from certain points comedy. So like when you have like certain characters in the DC are comedic, Booster Gold, he'll probably be comedic. But when you incorporate all that, and I'm thinking with James Gunn from a larger scale, not just from like a trilogy, but from a whole scale of movies.
Because he's the Kevin Feige, essentially.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to it, bro. They gonna have some bangers.
Yeah, I think,
and credit to them because I think they broke the record for prosthetics used in film.
Yeah, and then Guardians, yes,
Yeah.
I did see that. I saw that the other day on Twitter.
Which like that one scene where they're carrying Peter Quill, that's like it's
a whole
prosthetic thing, which is crazy. I saw the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt was talking about it. I'm like, hey, bro, y'all got any versions of those that are Zendaya or Margot Robbie for research purposes? Just curious.
So let me ask you this then. So obviously you talked about it before. Well, I told you it was probably in the beginning. This could be a top 5 Marvel movie when it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. Right now, for you, is it a top 5?
I was actually thinking. I was like leading up to this review. I was actually jotting down my top 10 favorite Marvel movies. And
hey, the floor is your spill.
I mean, I'm not going to give my top 5 not for this occasion. I'm gonna make a separate video for that. We're probably gonna rank our Marvel films. However, I'll say them in no order. I know for sure Black Panther's in there still, the first one. Infinity War is in there. Winter Soldier is in there. I'd probably say Civil War, and then honestly, I put Guardians of the Galaxy 5 or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Those are the best. Those are the best Guardians to you then.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like my Guardians ranking is 3, 1, and then 2.
And all of them aren't bad, or 1 and 2 aren't bad at all.
Yeah.
It's just pick your personal favorite at that point. Because 2 has some, like 2, if I remember, there's a lot of comedy in 2.
Yeah.
And it's more about all the fun being poked at Star-Lord.
Mm-hmm. The 2, it was just like Ego. I didn't really care much for as a villain. You know, like he was okay. Right. Ronan, pretty cool. You know, I liked him. I liked kind of the whole what's it called? What are they? The Kree.
Oh yeah.
The Kree, Ronan, you know, Nebula as a little side villain in there. Like I kind of liked what 1 was going for, and then 3 just fucking high evolutionary, bro. Just
he was a madman. I think one note on him as a villain, and I think this is something that Marvel has kind of struggled with post Infinity War, post Thanos, if you will, is I think Marvel right away tried to force Kang on us way too early. And they dropped so many hints about how he's going to be a player in Phase 4 and 5. And I think, if I remember correctly, Avengers 1, right? Post-credit scene, Thanos. Guardians 1, obviously there's mentioned, and I think there's the post-credit scene of Thanos again, right? And then in Age of Ultron, when Vision is there, obviously the stones are mentioned for the first time. Like, we knew it was coming, but we didn't know it was Thanos until Infinity War, because in Thor, Ragnarok, the ship gets attacked, but we don't know who it is.
right.
We just see, oh shit, it's Thanos. And I think what makes the High Evolution a fun standoff villain is that, like you said, he's a villain you truly wanted to hate in this film. And he was evil.
Yeah. I mean, like, see, I'm okay with, I guess, Kane being shown early just because, like, compared to Thanos, like, Thanos, there was one version of Thanos. Not until, like, Endgame, where there was the other version.
Right.
But with Kane, like, the fact that they're already trying to introduce variants and how each of those variants could potentially be a villain in each different MCU film, potentially, I don't know, Fantastic Four, like, maybe, like, a small villain or just, like, someone in the story, like, whether it's his variants or not. But the fact is, like, you're going to have multiple Kanes, so I guess you might as well start early. But
I think get bodied by Ant-Man.
Sadly, yeah.
You get bodied by your tier 3 guy.
Yeah, that's. But with High Evolutionary, I actually did one thing I actually liked about it was the fact that they kept him alive potentially. Like there's that.
You didn't see him. You didn't see a body.
You didn't see a body. I mean, Rocket said, like they said, hey, bro, you wanna take him out? Like, you wanna finish him? He said, no, that's not. I'm a Guardian. That's not what Guardians do or whatever. And they never really showed him after that, so he potentially could be alive. And honestly, I think he could be someone that could play into kind of Kane's. Motives down the line too, like kind of how Kane saw MODOK, like he recruited him, saw this beat up,
stretched out face,
worn down dude,
fits the mold.
He brought him along to help him with his shit. Maybe he sees something in High Evolutionary, and like maybe like how he's able to create those super enhanced animal robotic.
Yeah.
Type things, like maybe Kane finds use in that and has a High Evolutionary be like a secondary villain for him in the future movie, or just serve him.
And it's known the High Evolutionary is a dick. It won't stop being one. Unlike MODOK.
Yeah, that's just. Yeah, man, we don't know.
This probably was the best thing Marvel put out since Endgame.
You mean the best thing James Gunn put out?
No,
but
it says Marvel Studios, so
yeah.
But
like High Evolution, I do also another scene. And this is where I go back to I forgot his name, but his acting was that scene where Rocky was in the cage. He came in, and was just screaming. Like you see this man going from like angry to fucking.
Oh yeah.
Like I know. How did you know? I built you. How did you know? Because it worked. Like just like the different emotions. He's going from fucking anger to hysterical to being calm.
And then after he shows Rocket, and then Rocket's like,
oh yeah, what about?
Oh yeah, we can't wait to go now. And he goes.
We? Yeah, like
I was like, oh no.
Yep.
And he's like, you are so smart and you figured out how to work this machine, but you couldn't figure out that? And I was like, I hate you. For that moment I was like, yeah, I hate this guy.
Again, he's so hateable. That's what I love about him, bro. He was great.
I'm tired of the anti-villains. I'm tired of the villains who decide to do good at the end. And they almost fight carbon copies of themselves. Like Venom and Morbius, that's the problem with first of all, they had a lot of problems. But the biggest thing is, one, they're anti-heroes, and they fight exact copies of themselves in a way.
And you didn't have the movie fucking rated R. That was a problem with it too. But
yeah.
But hey, we're making Craven rated R. Forgot knows what.
Of all people, Craven.
Yeah.
I don't know why Craven gets that.
Jesus, bro, I don't know.
He's just a hunter. You don't be doing anything else.
But I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, like you said, bro. Like it ain't like you had at the end where the ship was blowing up and High Evolutionary said, you know what, change of heart. Let me get these animals out here. You guys.
No, he was.
No. And I did find it stupid though how when he was going all crazy for rocking his shit and like his assistant turned on him with the gun.
Yeah.
Now they all just surround. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Obviously, you know what his powers are.
I'm saying, bro.
You're in space, so it's not like you can just walk out the door and then skip over to the next town.
Like, I bet you she in the afterlife thinking, I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game.
Like
Shaq. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game.
She's up there with the crew going, guys, that's on me.
That's on me. I
take that L. I thought we had the advantage.
I tried to stage a coup. I tried to get you all involved. And as a result, I got you all killed.
But at the end of the day, you all made the choice. You all raised that gun with me.
Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking.
Yeah.
Another little scene that I loved. It was so funny. Is when Warlock comes back again when they're attacking the High Evolutionary ship, and he crashes into Peter and Gamora's, and she goes, "One more step and this little guy gets it." And he goes, "Don't be rash." And
Will Poulter actually pulled it off, bro. I like when he was casted as Adam Warlock. I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this.
The guy from Worth the Millers?
Because I always thought of him as Kenny, bro. I still to this day think of him as Kenny, but Yeah, he pulled it off.
He nailed it. Like, I
Yeah.
thought, and like we said, everything about him, like, just kind of being born in a sense.
Being that young, naive,
Yeah.
like, you know.
Like when she says,
Show him
me
business."
business."
What business could we have shown him?
And then he goes, "That little thing looks sad."
Oh my god. Yeah, he was good.
Him and that little creature thing. I liked it. And now they're part of the new Guardian squad.
Mm.
Which, oh, man, we haven't talked about Groot yet at the end.
Oh yeah, well, Groot just throughout this movie. I mean, shit. This was probably my favorite version of Groot. You know, when he was on High Evolutionary's ship on what's that? New
Counter Earth?
on Counter Earth, and he pulled out all them fucking guns and shit. Flew out with the wings. I was like, okay, Groot.
No one scanned the tree for weapons.
Yeah. Apparently not.
No one scanned.
They didn't think they needed to.
They scanned Quill and they said, "Nebula, your weapon's a whole arm now." But the tree, he's just a tree.
Yeah. And Drax, bro, like Dave Bautista, he's up there as far as like good wrestlers turned actors. I know, like I gave John Cena a lot of credit over recent years. Dave Bautista, man, like
Hey, he might be better.
yeah, you can make a case, bro. After this movie, you should for sure can make a case.
Because you saw him in this movie, and then what just came out with him? The movie. I'm gonna hate myself because I don't remember the name of it. The one that just dropped with him. Cabin in the.
Knock on the cabin.
Yes, where they kidnap the people, and it's like it was a different side of him.
Yeah.
And then you get Drax, who, by the way, like I thought had like one of the most subtle, cool moments when they're trying to figure out how to get the kids to communicate.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm talking about right there, the Dave Bautista, bro, and even Drax. I liked him in this movie a lot. I finally felt like he was living up to Drax the fucking Destroyer name. You know, when he was when he was fighting Adam Warlock before, you know, Adam Warlock pieced him off. But that was Adam Warlock. I give him that. But like when he was bodying the fucking on that one scene in the hallway, he was just tossing motherfuckers around. Like, because when I think of Drax, I'm over here thinking of always like Endgame, you know, when he's just behind stabbing somebody, or Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when he's inside the thing stabbing it. I'm just thinking like, oh, this is all Drax knows is stabby, 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 like the whole fucking time. But yeah, he was actually piecing motherfuckers up this movie.
Oh, the idea when Nebula goes, "I know what you're meant to be. You're not Dax the Destroyer. You're a dad." And I was like,
yeah.
Everyone got their moment.
Great fucking writing, bro, by James Gunn.
Now, everyone killed. Like we've said it enough, but everyone killed it in this film too. Everyone, and that action scene in the hallway.
Oh, one of the best, bro. One of the best. And it's one camera. It's just a single shot, just following the action. And that's why I say it's like when you have directors that are very creative, like James Gunn, put into these movies, because some recently with a lot of MCU films, it feels like the action and everything's just shot the same. So
it kind of reminded me of, and not that this scene is up there with it by any means, but Age of Ultron when they're defending the core. I think it was the core from the Ultron bots, and it's like the panoramic, and you just see every hero getting their own, scene or like shot of they're doing whatever the signature attack is. It's like that.
Yeah.
But obviously this is a lot more well done. But yeah.
Agreed. And I mean, it helps when you have the Beastie Boys.
The music was so like on point. The music from it's so on point.
Oh, facts. When they started out playing "Creep" by Radiohead, I was like, okay, all right.
I said, man, I'm about to sit back and
this is gonna be a good time.
I said, man, I'm about to vibe out to this movie. And then at the end, when they play, in the first post-credit scene, when they're ready to defend those people, and Rocket asks them all what their favorite song is from that iPod that Quill left, and then Rocket's like, "This one's personal favorite," and it's "Come and Get Your Love," and you're like, yep, that will be the one. No matter what, that's the Guardian song right there.
That was amazing. I'm trying to think what else.
I had that song on repeat that night after watching it on the drive home. Oh, and Dog Days.
Oh yeah, great. No Sleep Till Brooklyn. That's the one by Beastie Boys.
Yes,
that was good.
Yes.
Yep. Hey, Beastie Boys in space movies, bro. It ain't the first time it happened. Star Trek.
And it works.
It works every time. But yeah, also like as far as a movie, it was honestly one of the most complete MCU movies too. Like all 3 acts,
Yeah,
beginning, middle, end, like just entertaining.
it was
And when it wasn't like action or entertaining at all, like just the dialogue,
the
the
story
characters
kept
talking
you,
to
the
each
story
other.
the story kept you in it,
Exactly.
which is something again. I just feel like, and obviously Marvel was building up from Iron Man to Endgame. Like that was the journey, and that was the goal, and I think they did a great job of doing that. But now, with no real direction, and you're trying to introduce all these new characters. Again, just James Gunn doing what he does. Like you could watch the Guardians movies by themselves, and it all still flow.
Yeah, exactly. And like you don't even need to watch like the Christmas special if you wanted to, and it's still like I could still jump to this movie and still like without missing a beat. I mean, the Christmas special is nice. It's a nice little side story to have, but like.
And I guess if you wanted to watch Infinity War Endgame to see why they're so confused about Gamora from 2 to 3, yeah, sure, but still, like they stand alone on their own. And you could watch the trilogy by itself and go, oh, most of this all flows.
Facts. But I enjoyed it, man. I'm trying to. Oh, and when Groot spoke at the end, like I knew immediately when I was watching, I was like, okay, he's not really talking. Like there were some people in my theater like, oh my god, like he actually spoke for the first time. I'm like, no, that's
there's a deeper meaning to it.
I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Guardians understand. Like that's just the Guardians how they understand him, or like that's their point of view, like what he's saying.
Because at the end he talks to Gamora, and Gamora thinks just him, just saying I'm Groot, but then she realizes, oh, I can hear him now.
Yep.
I can understand him now.
But it made even more when James Gunn said it, like just recently when he was talking about the scene, and he said that's because the audience is now part of the Guardians family, and I was like, damn, you son of a bitch, James.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like
And then at the end, to see everyone salute Rocket when Quill's like, you're gonna be the new leader, and when Lila talks to Rocket in the flashback about how your time's not up yet, and the story's been about you the whole time, you just didn't know it.
That scene broke me too,
bro. I was like, oh man. And to see Rocket get the sign of respect from everyone on the Guardians that you're the new guy now. It was so good.
Oh my god, man.
And who would have thought I would be crying during Dog Days? That's supposed to be a happy song.
Yep. No,
It's supposed to be a happy
song no more.
It's a happy upbeat it's a happy upbeat song.
Not anymore.
And now all I think about is a CGI raccoon. And a tree.
Yeah. And credit to the motion cap actors too. I know this actually took me for a surprise when I was watching the movie Sunday, because I was looking at the credits, like the opening credits, and it said Linda Cardellini. And Linda Cardellini, like in the MCU, she plays Clint Barton's wife.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, they got Hawkeye's wife in this damn movie? Like, what? How does she fit in this? And I didn't see her throughout until the end, and I'm looking at the end credits, and I'm like, oh shit, she voiced Lila. I knew the voice sounded familiar.
And you know what just crossed my mind? You know where else she worked with James Gunn?
It's Scooby-Doo as Velma. Yep.
It's really wild how Marvel said, hey, so the only thing you've done was Scooby-Doo, and those weren't well received at the time, but come to Guardians.
Yep. Yeah, that shit threw me for a loop.
Such a good movie at the end. It was
great.
so good.
Fucking phenomenal, man. Like,
It's a top 5 for me, no question.
Facts.
Yeah. And Guardians, up there with Captain America as far as best trilogies are concerned.
yeah, facts. I probably would still put Cap above it, but like, it's right.
It's a clear
right
number
there.
2. I think before people were like, is it Iron Man because of what it stands for? Is it Spider-Man because 2 of the 3 are pretty much well liked by everyone?
Yeah. Like, it depends, bro. Because I don't know. I might put Iron Man 3 and then Spider-Man 4. I mean,
We just know Thor and Ant-Man are at the bottom.
yeah.
We know Thor and Ant-Man are at the bottom where they should be.
Because like a lot of people give Iron Man 2 shit. I actually like it. I don't know what like. I don't see the hate for it. People don't like Captain America 1. I don't see the hate for that. I actually like that.
Captain America 1 is like underrated. I think it's like, so funny enough, I think it's gonna be like Homecoming in a sense, because now that Homecoming is on Disney Plus, because people probably haven't watched it because it just never was available anywhere. But I think when you watch Captain America 1 like later on, you're like, huh, This is actually a pretty solid origin movie.
Yep.
I think Homecoming with the same kind of treatment.
Agreed. First two movies, the humor was kind of mix and match. For this one, like, hit every time.
Like when when Drax walks up to the kids, he goes, "Hey, dumb idiots," and you're just like, huh.
Yep.
Or like
when Mantis was like, "Oh, he's in love with you. You're in love with him. Dance." You see this dude? Rage mode, and just you're kidding. Like, it's just,
it works.
And Mantis, shit, we didn't even talk about fucking Mantis, but Mantis was amazing in this movie. Like, she actually was putting in work too.
And then she realizes on the end that, well, she's right, because she was created by Ego for the purpose of serving for Ego. And then she was part of the team of the Guardians, but kind of just did whatever the Guardians wanted her, or wherever they went, she went.
Yeah.
Now she's going on her own, doing her own thing with her 3 giant
Ableist, I think.
Yeah.
Ableist.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mantis, bro. When she was fighting, she was over here for doing flips, flipping around people, fucking.
And that action scene, everyone had their moment.
Because you know when it was Mantis, like when what was it, Endgame, and you saw all the female, you know, that scene where we got it from here, and all the female are just walking, and I just see Mantis walking with them. I'm like, what the fuck are you about to do, Mantis? Like, that's what I thought. That is how I thought originally when Endgame came out. But seeing this film, I'm like, you know what?
She can hold her own.
And Mantis was probably putting in some damn work in that damn battlefield, bro. I'm being honest. But yeah.
Also, I just loved it when Drax talks to the kids and he's like, "Well, my kid, I pretend I was a monkey," and then he just goes, "Beep boop, beep boop." And what's supposed to be such a sweet, tender moment, just instantly you just couldn't help but laugh. Yeah. You just couldn't help but laugh at it.
It's funny, but it's also like heartwarming, bro. Like, that's what's so
especially
great
because like 2 minutes before that, Nebula and Mantis were all yelling at each other. They called Drax stupid. And Drax is like, "Do I really think I am?" And she went, Forget
everything.
It's just it all meshes so well in this movie because I think that's kind of been the theme of Guardians 1 and 2. It's like it's comedy, there's some good action, you know, there's some good writing to where there's time for those serious moments. But in the third one, they take all that, turn it up by like 20.
Oh, fast.
Because it's all just there perfectly.
Yeah, it was. And this is another thing how I know it's good. Because when it comes to recent comic book movies, I rarely go for a second or third time going to see it in theaters. Like, I actually want to see this movie again. Well, probably multiple times if I ever do. Because the last movie for sure that I watched in theaters twice was Avatar, The Way of Water. And then the last comic book movie that I watched multiple times in theaters was The Batman.
Okay.
Every other comic book movie I've watched one time in theaters, and I was like, okay.
Even like Infinity War and Endgame?
Well, no, I'm saying since Endgame.
Okay.
Since Endgame.
Yeah, it's probably... I watched... Oh, I'm trying to think.
Because Endgame I watched like 3 or 4 times in theaters.
Yeah, Endgame I went and watched like at least 3 times. Spider-Man I saw it once. Yeah, this might be... Because I've seen Guardians twice now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Guardians might be the... That might be the... Because I wanted to watch Batman again, but I didn't want to sit in the theater for 3+ hours.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
So I watched it on when it came on HBO. I rewatched it again. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. It's Guardians.
Yeah.
Since Endgame, that's the one I watched twice. Yeah.
Like, that's when I know a movie is good to me. I'm like, shit. If I want to go see it again in theaters, like pay money to go see it again. So you passed the test.
This is for you the best thing since Endgame, pretty comfortably.
Oh, facts. Best Marvel project since Endgame.
Okay.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Like, shit was good. I mean, because Doctor Strange, I like Doctor Strange. However, expectations, yes. I was a little bit underwhelmed with, when they said Multiverse of Madness. Spider-Man, thought it was good. Story was all right, but I do think that, having Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire you
just watch it for the last act.
Yeah, just cements that fucking...
Like, the rewatch of No Way Home kind of just... You could skip, like, the halfway point of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think what else. But yeah, Kane. I mean, Avengers, Quantum. Oh, not Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
The Wasp, Quantum Mania. Like, as far as the expectations I had for that movie, and with Kane, like, I thought it was gonna be big, but you know, you got jokes like "You're not a dick." Don't be a dick, and then that shit was underwhelming. So this was probably the first movie in a while that, like, going into it, I had high expectations for it and delivered, surpassed them.
Yeah.
So I loved it, bro.
100%, I agree with you. It was probably the first. No, that's not a lie. I teared up in Spider-Man, seeing Toby and Andrew come back. But like since Endgame, like where I just had pure sadness for a Marvel movie, this has been the first Guardians, and Guardians probably did it better than Endgame in that sense.
Yeah, and like I cried during this, and this is how you know, man. I ain't trying to throw. Well, I mean, to a certain person, he's gonna think of it as shade, but call it what you want. When Black Panther: Wakanda Forever came out, look, I shed a tear during that fucking opening intro credits thing with Chadwick Boseman, you know, the Marvel intro. Besides that, I didn't shed a tear in that single fucking movie.
I had a tear coming out at the end when they did the montage, the flashback scenes, where it's all just Chadwick.
Okay, maybe then
on the beach when Shuri kind of realized, she takes it all in that he's really gone, and she's like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Well, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't shed a tear.
I shed a tear when they showed all the scenes.
Because again, when it showed the intro, Marvel intro, I'm thinking that's for Chadwick. But when they showed the end credits, that's for they're doing that montage for Shuri remembering T'Challa in her mind. So I'm thinking, like, I think of them as two fucking different things, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's my opinion. I mean, you like that's fine. I'm not berating you or hating on you for you know, shedding a tear.
We know how you feel about the
T'Challa. I mean, y'all know how I feel about the damn movie, bro. I'm not going to get into that. I probably will make a video on that one of these days, like just my overall opinion, my facts presented on why.
We should just take a clip of everything from between the final drive and trade.
Oh God!
Just make that a montage.
Yeah, that would get some.
There's enough content there.
That would get some views right there for sure. That would be some real fucking Shannon and Skip.
But I mean, it's a good point you mentioned it because again, like I forgot all about Wakanda Forever, and like I went and watched it. I maybe had a tear come down when I realized at the beginning what was going on because it's like, oh, this is T'Challa dying. Like, damn, this is how they started off. Mm-hmm. And at the end, when they have when Shuri remembers T'Challa and they show all of his scenes from previous movies. But besides that, I didn't feel anything like throughout that movie.
Yeah. And
it's like, I wonder. I don't know. Like, I feel like this sounds a little weird to say, but like, had Gunn been in charge of the Black Panther?
I mean, I
don't know. I kind of wonder how he would have handled.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm fine. Like I always, like Javante said in the thing, it's good to have a black director attached to.
Oh yeah,
especially because they capture the culture aspect. I don't hate Ryan Coogler. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying he carried a little too much emotion when he was doing that damn movie. And if there was a director who was not black who did Black Panther, who I personally would be like, oh, you know what? Okay, let me see what they can do with it. It would probably be the Russos.
Yeah,
just because of what they did with Civil War and how he was in that movie.
The best version of Black Panther.
Yeah,
facts. He is.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, look, as far as the MCU moving forward, again, I don't really give Marvel Studios too much credit for this.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not gonna be like that. I'd give James Gunn all the credit in the world for making this movie. I'm excited about his future in DC. I'm excited about Superman Legacy and how that's going to turn out. Mm-hmm. But Marvel has a chance this year to capitalize on the hype that Guardians is now starting to get. You have Secret Invasion coming out within this month, I think, or this month or next month.
Next month, yeah.
You have the Marvels at the end of this year as well. Loki, I think, comes out this year.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So Loki, the Marvels. So you have those projects. If those all can be, if those all are good, then we're back on something. Then I'm like, oh, I can feel confident about Marvel movies.
Yeah, because I think they dialed back on the shows and they realized, hey, we're pumping all these shows, but obviously the quality isn't what we're used to. Mm-hmm. And even same with the movies. I feel like in the movies they've been really lacking in that since. And again, and maybe just because they're trying to find a new direction and trying to build up these characters to start over. But yeah, like you said, if they could nail the rest of this year as far as the shows and movies are concerned, then maybe we got something.
Yeah, exactly. I do hope that the Skrull thing and Secret Invasion, I hope that's prolonged for the future of MCU as well. Like I hope that Secret Invasion doesn't show the conclusion of the Skrulls, like within that whole 6 episode arc, which is I think an hour long each episode, but counting credits maybe 53 minutes. I hope within those 6 episodes they don't conclude that whole Skrull story and be like, all right, we're done with the Skrulls now, moving on. I hope the Skrulls continue to play a part in the MCU, and they could also serve as a nice little side story or secondary problem with Kang as well.
Yeah, because I think again with the Fantastic Four coming into play, I just feel like you can't do the Fantastic Four without Skrulls. Because in particular, Super Skrull is a guy who has the powers of all 4 members. You can't really just not have that.
Yeah, that's also another thing. It's like, we see the Skrulls infiltrate. They can infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D. They can infiltrate the government in general, their people. But, like, to infiltrate a group of superheroes, like, that's a whole other thing that, I would love to see on screen. So I hope they can do it.
Yeah, and I think... if they could nail that, then obviously down the road you have the X-Men. You kind of tease mutants already being a thing in Marvel. So hey, if they can nail, if everything is good as I would assume it would be, because Secret Invasion has been promised to be that Civil War type spy tied to it, and then Loki obviously picking up on season 2. Season 1 was very good, and then the Marvels, I feel between Rambeau, Captain Danvers, and then Kamala, I feel like you can do that. That should be a fun movie.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it definitely doesn't deserve to be the most disliked fucking Marvel
no, for sure
trailer
not.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we know why. We know why it's that way.
The world. World.
Yeah. Trying to think.
Who do you think Gunn's gonna bring over from Guardians to DC? He said he's talked to people about it, so I'm just kind of wondering, who do you think? Who would you like to see in DC with a gun?
I know Dave Bautista always said he would mind playing Bane. I wouldn't mind it as well.
That'd be fun.
Another option could be Hugo Strange. If he's doing that.
That's the range right there, right?
That's the range right there.
Dwayne Johnson
if you have him doing Bane, then it's just like, okay, that's Dave Bautista back to just the brute. But it depends how you do Bane. If you do the smart, intellectual Bane, like how he was in Batman the Animated Series, then you got something there. Hugo Strange, for sure, that would be the range right there that Dave Bautista could play.
Yep.
Pratt, Booster Gold would be my...
That makes too much sense.
That makes too much sense. It's I have him, and I have fucking the guy from Top Gun that plays Hangman.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Those would be my top 2 choices for Booster Gold. So Chris Pratt is for sure in there. Maybe Hal Jordan. I'm kind of reaching there, but that might be one for Chris Pratt. Karen Gillan said that she wouldn't want to play Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
I could see that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know she has the red hair right now, but we associate Amy Adams, red hair, Lois Lane, but she dyed it and played Lois Lane. I could see Lois Lane.
For Karen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can see her playing that. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Yeah,
they got a lot of people. Because I guess Stallone does. Oh God, what's his name? The Shark.
King Shark, yep.
King Shark.
You have his wife, who was part of Peacemaker, but, what's her name? Amelia Harcourt.
Yeah.
I would like to see Michael Rosenbaum, his friend who's in the Ravager group, just because of what he's played in DC before. He's voiced the Flash in the Justice League animated series. He's been a part of, he played Lex Luthor in Smallville. It's just a small role for him. I know he's going to be in the DCU. Sean Gunn, I could see him as well. I know Weasel is already one.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be interesting, especially because we didn't even talk about this, but like the future Guardians team, like, will they have a movie? Will it be?
I think Gunn said he would be okay with it as long as they do his characters right.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If I'm Kevin Feige, I'm like, hey, bro, I know you working for DC, but if do you want to spend some time over here just directing this movie real quick,
or just oversee it?
Yeah,
you're not directing, just oversee it.
Like, shit, how many zeros you need on the check to direct another Guardians movie?
That Mickey Mouse checkbook's gonna look real nice,
right? Nah, but yeah, I mean, because we talked about on the show, like Javante said that, oh no, this is done. Guardians, like, they're not doing any more movies and all that shit. I could still see them potentially doing them
with the new team.
Yeah, with the new team, I want to see it.
And I mean, obviously after that last scene with Quill and his grandpa, I mean, it says the mighty Star-Lord will return. Now, whether that's Chris Pratt remains to be seen.
No, it's going to be Chris Pratt. I think he'll return in Secret Wars.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for sure either Secret Wars or Kane Dynasty, one of those two.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. They probably could do a movie in the future. They could do a special presentation if they wanted to.
Like a solo Star-Lord series, where he's just kind of on his own.
But no, I was talking about the Guardians.
Okay.
If you weren't going to do a movie, a special presentation would be nice too.
Yeah.
Just an episode about them and doing a mission in space or some shit, you know. What else can you do? Yeah.
That, and again with Disney Plus, as long as you can assure the quality is there, there's options for anything: a show, a special, or even like a direct to movie or a movie direct to the streaming service.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, another just small knock on the film. I do wish one of the end credit scenes tied into something for the future.
Yeah,
something either Kane related. I don't know. You could have had someone in space and just a fucking silver surfboard moving around space, and I'd have been like, bet.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just the fact that Rocket has a new team. Maybe just kind of tease the Guardians are going to be around still.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I feel like something to show that there is some kind of plan going forward. Like this will. I know we talk about how great it is. It is a one standoff film, but at the same time, like something to show that there's something more coming.
Because even going into it, like I knew that there wasn't gonna be like any tie-ins, because when James Gunn, they asked him about like Kane and all the shit in the MCU, like he was like, I don't really know what the fuck's going on. Like, you know, like I'm focusing on Guardians. Like I don't really know what's.
In 2018, I got a phone call from Bruce saying, "Hey, Gamora's gonna die in our movie, so have fun."
So, but he did a great job working around that, you know, Gamora's death and just like Nebula. I like the fact that she was more of she was kind of Gamora in the way, because like she kind of saw what the old Gamora loved about this team, and like saw them as this family. So she eventually started to see them as well.
She said that sounds more like her, and then Quill just goes.
Knock it off!
I've never noticed how black your eyes were.
Because my father had them replaced. I just picked a great set.
Again, it's just comedy
slaps, man.
Every joke nails. It hits every time. Like there's not one moment where a joke was cracked that I didn't laugh.
That's
like everything hit. And when there was a sad moment, you best believe I cried.
Yep. Damn. And I wasn't afraid to hide it, bro. I was like, fuck this. Fuck all that being a man shit. I'm gonna express myself today.
Over CGI.
Over CGI.
Over a CGI.
I see multiple people die in goddamn movies, but hey, when a CGI animal gets it, that's when I lose it.
The line is drawn.
The line is drawn from there.
It's just, man, what a great movie that was.
Fucking phenomenal, bro. Amazing. Phenomenal, spectacular shit. Whatever word you want to associate with it.
I'm gonna need Javante. I'm gonna need you to toot your Marvel horn this next video that you guys do, because
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, you can toot it for now.
You can toot the Marvel horn all you want for now. Until the next Marvel thing comes out, because then we gotta see. But toot it now while you can, my man, because this movie certainly lived up to the hype.
Hey, like I said, bro, I ain't felt this way about a movie in a while.
It's a 10.
This was a good one.
It's a 10.
It was a 10.
And Marvel has so few 10s.
Agreed.
and this was one of them.
This was one.
Yeah.
Top 5 in my list for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And the Guardians probably have all 3 in the top 15, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I have on the outside. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Two would probably be maybe on the. It's either in top 15 or it's in the outside looking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's right there.
Yep. Amazing shit, bro. Amazing shit. James Gunn, bro. You sold me.
He knew what he knew. He knew the vision.
You sold me.
And now I'm even more excited for DC, because if he could do that with these characters, imagine we do with Superman or whoever else, the major players. Because he's directing Superman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be in his bag.
I am in your service.
Whatever he needs, it will be done.
It will be done. My guy, shit. Hey, where Bailey at? You need your crypto. The super dog casting. Hey, I got a good option right here. You want to work with? Where's she at? Bailey!
Nah, she said.
Nah,
she said nah.
She a little nervous, James. Don't worry, we'll work with that.
The stage fright, it happens.
Yeah.
It gets everybody.
It happens all the time.
It's like the movie when the little pet thing on the ship, when Gamora looks at him, he just starts pissing all over the floor. It's just fright.
Yeah, exactly.
Once Bailey knows what's going on, she'll be ready to go. Once she knows.
Facts.
Guardians. Chef's kiss, man. That was the perfect way you could wrap up the trilogy and send all these characters off. Magnificent. Also, Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
had a brief cameo. Once again, Seth Green came back and did that.
Yep. Did we talk about Cosmo? Cosmo, great.
Yeah.
Good,
the bad dog.
Bad dog turned into a good dog.
Yep. And
he called me a bad dog.
Nebula, did you hear that?
Soviets sent me on the moon, but they never called me a bad dog. Man, I love Cosmo. It
was such a good nice send off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, every scene fucking hit, bro. There wasn't a scene where I was over here sitting okay, I could looking back at it. I'm glad I didn't go to the bathroom at all watching this movie. Because if I would have missed one of those damn scenes, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, or there's some movies obviously where if you're not in the way of anybody, you'll pull out your phone or check to see what kind of text or whatever you got or alerts. This movie, I was zoned in the entire time.
Yeah,
it had my attention from the moment Freak played. I was hooked.
Yep. Fucking again, spectacular, immaculate, amazing, wonderful, fucking Marvel film.
Yep.
James Gunn film, but
shout out to all the actors, dude, because they put all this.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful write-off for all these guys.
We really grew with this cast and crew, man. So, shout out to them.
Crazy how old we are now.
I know, man. The first
one came out in 2008.
When did the first Guardian came out? What, 2014?
2014.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Or 15.
I feel so fucking old, bro. I
think it was 14 because Nebula says in Endgame, we're not the only ones looking for the Infinity Stones at 20. I think she says 14.
Yeah. I think so, but still, bro, shit. I feel old, but yeah, amazing film. All right, you guys, what did you think of Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Let us know your thoughts on it down below in the comments section. Do you agree with some of our points in this video? And if you enjoyed this review, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm DeAndre.
Oh, this is Russ Sam J, right?
Yeah, you can say you're Alec.
Don't be rash.
Yeah, don't be rash.
But I'm Alec. DeAndre, it's always a pleasure doing this with you, my dude.
Yes, man. Loved having you on.
I love having these chats because they're fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Hey, many more to come. But yeah, definitely check it out. Definitely watch it. It's a movie I honestly recommend if you want to go. There's movies that you actually are dying to see, maybe once or twice in theaters. This is one. You can go multiple times and enjoy it every time. So go watch it if you haven't.
And cry every time.
And cry tears of joy, laughter, whatever the fuck, sadness. You're gonna love it.
You'll cry during Dog Days, 100%.
I can't even see that song the same now. But yeah.
For real though, yeah.
But definitely watch it. This is Dre and Alec.
Jay will be back next week.
Jay will be back for
Jay
sure.
will be
for that.
back.
Javonte's going to do the Fast and the Furious one with me. That's for sure.
He'll be here before you are.
Yeah, he'll be
sitting here waiting for you.
I'm going to be the one that's like, fuck, again. But
you'll wake up in the morning. He'll be already here, ready to go.
oh yeah, he's excited. He's excited about that damn movie. So
actually, he'll probably be here when you get off work.
Yeah.
When you come.
You're looking for that shit. But
Family, right?
Yeah, family. Fuck it.
Jason Momoa and Brie Larson and.
I'm not ready for it, but here we go. Oh. But yeah. All right, guys. Deuces.